Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Ivatron, and today we're going to be taking a look at Albedo. He's going to be a new character that drops in about a week here in Genshin Impact. He is a Geo Element, and I'm sure you guys have heard a lot of hype around him, seen a little bit of stuff. I even had a video going over 1.2 update and everything that was included. There was a majority of the part had a lot of info on Albedo, but recently Genshin just dropped some new info on him. About his skills and a little bit of his backstory, as well as they dropped the trailer for him. So we're going to be taking a look at the trailer first, and then we're going to go over all the information that Genshin dropped. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Alchemy is a mysterious art that revolves around all living things, and the study of life, in particular, requires painting.
Yes, you certainly make wonderful paintings of anything that piques your interest, Mr. Albedo.
Arise, lifeless dust of the universe and that within. Thou art reborn. Do you understand now, Sucrose?
Simply amazing, Mr. Albedo.
Next, I will paint the common V-shape. I find the carapace to be its most enjoyable feature, the intricate patterns and even its sheen. But the rest of the V-shape is quite ordinary and requires but a few quick brushstrokes. Voila! Arise, lifeless dust of...
Excuse me, Mr. Albedo, but I fear creating such creatures may sit outside the sphere of acceptability within our roles as alchemists.
Oh, is that so?
Just like always, overly passionate about what piques your interest, yet completely indifferent towards anything otherwise. Your swing in interest this time didn't even leave you long enough to finish your painting.
Taking a look back at this,
Alchemy is a mysterious art that revolves around
pretty
all
cool
living
that
things,
it looks like Albedo can create life from pretty much just his drawings.
Yes.
Don't know how to feel about it. Does that mean that he's just like super advanced as far as his Geo Element goes, that
Arise,
he can basically just create life?
universe and that within. Thou art reborn.
It kind of reminds me of the reference that Venti was talking about in the main story, where he said that basically anybody with a vision is able to
I will paint the common
become a god, right? And ascend to Celestia. I'm guessing that Albedo's already super advanced in controlling the Geo Element enough so that he can create life pretty much from nothing, which in and of itself is, I think, just pretty awesome, right? Also, he looks a little bit careless in some of these things that he does, like not creating life fully there. I'm not sure if this was just for comedic relief or something, but it was pretty cool nonetheless. But now we're gonna get into the information that Genshin dropped here. Yeah, pretty cool looking picture here of Albedo. It reminds you of like almost like a sports like picture. You see with their name in the background and everything. But pretty cool there. Chief Alchemist of the Knights of Livonia. Here we get into his talents. This is going to be his E, or his skill, like not his ultimate, called a Biogenesis Solar Isotope. Beta creates a solar isotoma using alchemy, dealing AoE geo damage at specific intervals. Hits on enemies within the solar isotoma field will cause the solar isotoma to generate transient blossom, which deal AoE geo damage to the enemy based on Albedo's defense. Only one solar isotoma can exist at any given time, and the solar isotoma is considered a geo construct. So this is pretty interesting. It looks like he creates a field similar to like Chongyun, and also anytime you hit, it's going to create this like solar blossom that also does geo damage. So I'm wondering if like multiple hits from like various teammates and stuff is also going to create all these blooms. That's gonna be pretty cool. Let's get into the second part of this talent, or the skill, is when you stand on it, it basically raises you up like a little elevator. I think a lot of people were memeing about this just because they said, oh look, we're getting an elevator in Genshin Impact, but I think this could be pretty useful for a lot of people. Maybe if you don't have like another Geo like Zhongli who can put his pillar up, it's climbable, or Venti with his little air jet or whatever. Hey, why not? A little bit more usefulness to the skill, right? But here is the really cool part, is his ultimate. It seems to really quickly too. He just kind of throws it. We're going to read through this one. It's called Rite of Progenitor, Tectonic Tide. It says crystallized Geo energy bursts forth at Albedo's command, dealing AoE Geo damage in front of Albedo. If a solar isotoma created by Albedo himself is on the field, 7 fatal blossoms will be generated in the solar isotoma field, bursting violently into bloom and dealing AoE Geo damage. Tectonic Tide damage and fatal blossom damage will not generate trinket blossoms. Okay, so it only does damage in front of him, but if he has a skill out, which is like the little flower, right? Flash elevator. 7 fatal blossoms will be generated in the solar isotoma field. So around that field, 7 of those like little blooms that you would normally get by doing like a hit on an enemy inside the field will also spawn. So that means this is going to be pretty good for mobs. I'm guessing like if you have like a bunch of Halo Trails around you, you do this ultimate, anything in front of you is going to die, and then they're going to get residual damage from all the blossoms around you. So even if you're not doing the majority of the burst in front of you, it's still going to do damage behind you. I think this is going to be pretty good. I think what they're going to do with this character is probably scale him similar to Zhongli, where his ultimate scales like really high, but you know, his like tags, like basic attacks, aren't as damaging. So maybe going Geo damage on him is probably the way to go. Obviously that's all subject to change, and we won't see the final numbers till he really comes out, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that bad of a skill, or like ultimate. It's going to be pretty useful. Also, another thing I think I just completely glanced by is it's based on Albedo's defense. Transient blossoms deal AoE damage to the enemy based on Albedo's defense. I'm wondering if other skills like his ultimate and stuff like that are also going to scale off his defense. That's going to be pretty cool, because currently the only one that we really have that scales off of defense is Noelle, and even then I feel like you have to have at least a few constellations in order to have her viable as like a DPS. And as well as I believe Xinyan at Constellation 6 gets like a boost from her defense. So it's pretty interesting. I'm interested to see like his final stats when he's finally released. I don't want to go over like leaks and stuff, just because you know that's all subject to change, and we've seen, especially with Zhongli, that they kind of nerfed him right before release. So I'll probably leave that video till he actually released. Taking a look at his story here, alchemy is an ancient art, and many of its secrets have been lost to history. The few alchemy techniques known to the people of Mondstadt today are but enough to put some broken odds and ends together, saving you the money you would have otherwise spent on glue. That was when Albedo suddenly appeared and displayed the true prowess of alchemy to all. Now here we have, I'm guessing, a quote from Albedo himself. The universe is heaven reversed, and the earth is a dream lost to time. This is dust, the most basic form of complex life. As if to provide evidence for this claim, Albedo lifted the burnt ash of the flower that once grew atop a Dendro slime's head. Seconds later, a Cecilia sprouted forth from the ash in his hand. And this is New Birth. So similar to how we saw him in the trailer, basically just created life, right? Created something out of nothing. Right? Creates a Cecilia from basically dust, right? Ash. and like I said, alchemy was basically lost to the people of Bonsai. They didn't really understand. It was like basically what we see as like arts and crafts. And then he showed them that, hey, no, you can control much more than small things with this, right? Goes on to talk about Lisa seems to admire Albedo quite a bit, of course. Albedo is quite the alchemist. Just say the word and he'll come up with a good solution. He's easy on the eyes too, just like you. Oh, okay, Lisa. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Apparently she likes Albedo. And I think that's his reaction right there. This just goes over the voiceover and who's doing it. If you want to hear that, his information is already like on the Genshin Impact website, and you can just hear his voice and stuff like that, as well as the English. Here goes the personal details of Albedo. Albedo's hobbies. Other than researching alchemy, Albedo also enjoys drawing and is quite skilled at art. Cool. Like we saw in the trailer, he was drawing a lot. Apparently skilled enough to draw something pretty good, and then you saw that bishop at the end was not that great. Favorite food? Albedo enjoys desserts. He believes that when both physical and mental capacities are spent, high energy materials further provide a kind of primordial, highly effective. Interesting. Okay. High energy materials further provide a kind of primordial high effect. So he likes desserts. High energy materials further provide. Does high energy just means like sugar? Or coffee? I don't know. Least favorite food. Albedo dislikes large portions of meat in restaurants. I cannot relate to that. He has a rather small appetite, so a meal like that only ends up in tragedy. Either he overeats and the joy of the taste is lost, or he doesn't finish it and the food is wasted. Okay, so small appetite. Dislikes large portions of meat. Not about that life. That he overeats and the joy of taste is lost. Can you overeat? I don't know. Let's see. Amber's views on Albedo. Albedo spends most of his time in his workshop, tinkering away with all of his awesome stuff. But when you see him in person, you never can quite tell what he's thinking. Not a clue at all. Okay, so you know, he's a little mysterious, I guess. Maybe not so good relations, like social relations and stuff like that. And I think we have a quote here that they showed in, I think it's like the 1.2 trailer. It says, "Truth of this world, could it be?" If you guys haven't checked out the 1.2 video, I did like a condensed version of it. All the info basically packed it into like 20 minutes from like an hour. So if you want to check that out, it'll be in the description down below, or I'll just put like a little card there. And he mentioned this quote in 1.2 trailer, as well as just when they were talking about all the stuff that's coming. I think Albedo is a very curious mind. I think I like him already as a character, just as far as the way he thinks and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm gonna like him as a playable character. He looks cool. I'm not sure if I'm gonna summon that much for him, but I think he definitely is cool enough to have like a lot of fans, right? We'll probably hit a little bit of top grossing, we'll see. But I haven't seen as much hype for him as I saw with like Zhongli or, you know, even Klee. So we'll see what people think about that. I want to take a look at Ganyu later, because I have felt more hype for her than Albedo. I think people didn't really want a second Geo character like right away, but you know, that's up to Genshin, right? But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. Make sure you check out all the stuff in the link down below. If you want to see the 1.2 stuff, I have a link to that as well. There's a little card there. Yeah, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day. Bye, guys.